Hello. Welcome back to another Redux podcast. Holy shit, it's been 6 months. Isn't that right, my trusty co-host Noble?
Hey, I'm the slightly sick co-host Noble, but it's not COVID. Woo! I hope. All right. I am the co-host Noble, and I am here to introduce all of our guests on today's podcast. Please give a warm welcome to Blobby Gobster. Say hello.
Your microphone is so fucking loud.
Yeah, you
Okay.
know.
I'll back up then. Our other guest, the Cooch host, Earthton57,
Hey, yo, what it do? How you doing, Matt?
and the always unloved Mother of Dragons, Luna57 number thing.
Unloved, huh? Unloved.
I feel so loved.
Damn, brother.
Yeah, welcome to the podcast,
hold on.
everybody.
Actually, Noble, can you actually lower the sensitivity of my
You are so loud.
Because you are really loud. You are clipping everything.
I know you're clipping. Holy shit.
How do I lower it?
What microphone are you using?
You're overpowering. You're overpowering everyone else.
Mhm.
Hello?
You're too quiet.
Now you're too...
What the fuck?
Wait, hold on.
Okay,
Noble,
now.
All
Hello.
right, that sounds better.
There we go. Yeah.
Alright, I'm not kidding. Alright, can we restart?
No, that's
Okay,
that's
now it
it.
got bad again. It got bad again.
Because I'm coughing.
No, does it still sound loud, guys? I
No.
can't
No.
tell if my ears are just bad now.
Your ears are bad.
I will
Alright,
continue.
cool.
Alright, there we go. Then I'm set.
All right.
Yeah, you're set.
Beautiful. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and send it back to our host to start off today's podcast.
All right. Okay, thank you, Noble. Shut the fuck up and sit the fuck down. Anyway,
Ooh, shit.
I want you to cry. Cry.
Oh my god.
Okay. I don't need to cough.
Okay. Anyway, speaking of coughing, our first topic here today is the cough. God, what a great transition. Am I right?
No.
Fuck up. Oh my god. Region.
Today we are going to be talking about COVID-19, and
Mm.
oh boy.
And we are demonetized. Sorry,
And
everybody.
that's okay. I don't
And
make money.
Demonetization.
We ain't making no money, regardless.
Right. COVID-19 is, killing us in the world. We're all probably or most likely stuck in quarantine while other people are being heroes and going out to work. We actually got one of our friends working.
I'm about to work too.
He got a job.
I'm also working.
Yeah, there's 3
You
people.
got 3 people working right now. Oh, almost 3.
Almost 3.
love
I mean, my state is not like absolutely dog shit right now with everything. though. That's the thing.
Oh, it
Yeah.
isn't?
Mhm.
Mine's
Yeah,
total
no.
dog shit.
I mean,
dude.
we Connecticut was one of the epicenters
Nobody lives
because
in
of how
Connecticut.
close we were to New York.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go right over that. So because of how close we are to New York, we had a lot of cases, but from the numbers right now, it's gotten like hospitalizations are down and death rate is down too.
That's good.
Ooh, the meth rate.
There's been widespread statewide tests, and less than 1% of those tests back positive. So we're good for now. Hopefully, we can keep it like that.
Oh, where I live, oh boy, they're thinking about putting quarantine back up until
Oh,
September.
they are down here in Louisiana too.
Yeah,
Starting
so
Monday, bars and pubs are closing back down. Everyone is going to be required to wear a mask wherever you go.
Just kind of should have been enforced a tad bit earlier, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But people are people.
Welcome to
Yeah.
America.
This is
Meanwhile, New York
America.
State. Meanwhile, New York State is I have to admit, our governor. People give him so much shit, but he is doing his best. Recently, he opened up the malls, but in the front of the malls, they count the people that go in to make sure that it doesn't go over the limit. And if you're not wearing a mask, and if it is not over your nose and covering your entire lower half of your face, they literally will stop you, pull you to the side, and literally tell you you have to put it covering your nose and everything. No exceptions. They will not let you in without a mask. They will turn you away, tell you to either go back or they give you mask at the door. So they're doing that. Bars are open, but it's like a certain limit of people. You can't go up to the bar itself. You have to let the waiters come to you, which worries me a bit because my cousin, she owns a bar and she recently gave birth. So I'm hoping she's staying home because I already lost a family member to COVID and it sucks. So that's my hot take on COVID. I just want it over with.
I think we all do.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. Well, the only thing is that just all the states are doing it differently.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how the country works. So states
I wish
operate
it wasn't
different ways.
like that. I mean, fuck. I just wish that we all just fucking just stayed home and fucking not go out. But life happens and we can't control it.
Agreed.
Besides that, how has this pandemic affected your mental health?
Yes.
No, it's
That was the most fake laugh I've ever heard.
Aside from the seal that was just getting butchered off stage, I can go ahead and speak on my behalf that I've had the most frustrating time trying to get back into a 4-year university. Seeing that they don't want you to fucking go back. They're like, oh yeah. All right, let me explain the process of trying to go back to my 4-year university, which will remain classified because if they found out about this, they'd probably purge me and kill me.
LOL, Yale.
So, you thought? No, but so let's say that there's an admissions office like at every university, but you go ahead and email them like they ask you to on their website, and then they don't respond to you. So you call the people. And they say, oh, yeah, there's nobody at the building. So then you're like, all right, well, what do I got to do to reapply? So then they come at you with some bullshit. And they're like, oh, yeah, well, you just send us your transcripts. And I'm like, where do I send them? And they're like, the address of the building. So then I'm like, okay, done. I sent it. So then I email them back like, hey, it's been 2 weeks. Like you asked me to wait. And this is like 4 months ago, by the way. And then they're like, oh, yeah, we don't have it yet. And so I'm like, okay, well, where do I need to send it? And they're like, well, you got to send them to the admissions building. So I'm like, okay, so I do it again. So then I wait 2 more fucking weeks. And then I call again. And they're like, oh, no, that's the wrong building. You're not supposed to send it there. You're supposed to send it somewhere else. So I send it somewhere else. And then after I send it somewhere else, I call again. And they go, oh, did you send it there? That's the wrong place. There's a fucking P.O. box. And I sent it to the fucking P.O. box. And then, after I sent it to the goddamn P.O. people, then they're like, oh, yeah, well, we can't even do anything. Why don't you just go ahead to the higher-ups and just talk to the president of the university? So I call him like a president of the university, and he's like, oh, yeah, if you just send me your unofficial transcripts, I'll let you back in. So I do that, and then guess what happens?
Well, what?
I got back in, and it took me fucking 5 months to get back in because I had to go to the fucking president of the university to get back in.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so fucking colleges dislike you right now, especially if you're a transfer student. So any transfer students out there listening to this, which is probably none of you, good luck. I understand the struggle.
I'm gonna work at a liquor store.
I'm in the middle of moving.
So, do you want to talk about you getting a job, Bobby, or how this is
Nah.
going to? Nah, okay. Well, then how has this affected you? How's the whole COVID thing affected your mental health?
Nah.
Nah.
What does that mean?
Okay, well, here, I'll actually elaborate a little bit. So, last year, I know this is going to be weird to say last year. Last year, after I switched from going to school on campus and coming back here for online school, primarily because I wouldn't be able to afford changing major like I'd done. And also I was in a hell of bad shape mentally. When I got back here, I was isolating myself already. I was here in my house most of the time and not really going anywhere, not wanting to go anywhere. And that started to mess up my head to the point where I started to somewhat disassociate. a lot of the times, especially when I stepped outside. And along with me having astigmatism, everything's a little bit blurry when I walk outside. So I was just like, is this even real? Sort of thing. That's how bad I got. It got a little bit better near the end of the year, of course. But I just know going into this whole pandemic, having to isolate and quarantine once again, it caused a little bit of that to come back, or a little bit like it caused the anxiety to sort of go back up. But I know how exactly something like this can make you can change you in a way. But it's not like it changes you forever, of course. It just it sort of messes with you a little bit, at least for me. Or a lot. I don't know why I said a little bit. So it is a tough thing, but hopefully by the end of this, we won't have to deal with this for another 10, 20 years.
Hopefully.
I mean, yeah, it's tough. It's a little tough, but I mean, it's a lot better to actually state if it's messing with you or not, rather than trying to hold it in like I was holding it all last year,
Yeah.
trying not to say anything. But it does mess with you. But other than that, really, nothing's really has changed. School wise, everything's still the same. I mean, of course, I've gotten a job finally. I mean, it's a weird timing. I get hired while everybody else is having problems like this, like losing jobs or being laid off or anything. But it's it absolutely is messing with a lot of people's heads. You can see that.
Definitely. And then
But it's not necessarily like, again, it's not a big change for me. Nothing really has shifted except I've just not been able to see my friends, at least for a long time, at least until recently, because I've been seeing them a lot now recently.
okay.
And the only other change was my mom and my sister being home, but that is like that's why it didn't really affect me as much mentally this time, because there's actually people around all the time now, so I wasn't really losing my head being alone. So
All right. Well then, Urson, I want to pass the torch to you.
My life didn't really change around that much when this whole thing started. I mean, my whole life it revolved around just staying home, going to work. That was about it. The only difference would be I'm working a lot more, like 40 plus hours a week, which has finally started going back down. Because I'm really young. I don't like working all these hours, even though the paychecks are really nice. I don't even make that good of a money. I'm a manager for a goddamn Papa John's. They're terrible. I mean, anyone that listens to this, don't get a job there. But
Oh, if we're advocating for jobs not to work at, fuck GameStop! Don't work there. Jesus Christ! It's highway robbery. All right, go ahead.
Okay.
yeah,
Don't become a rapper. It's terrible business.
Fuck you.
but my mental state. I mean, mentally, I haven't been extremely sound for the past year. I've had a lot of stuff happen that you guys I've talked to you all about. But I mean, it's gotten better because you guys helped me out with a lot of it, and I have a lot to thank you for. But I mean, I'm worried every day that I'll get it. I'll give it to my family, which none of us are really. We're all more like a weaker immune system than normal people. I have asthma, so if I got it, it could really screw me over. Since it's
It ain't easy being wheezy.
What?
What?
It ain't easy being wheezy. I know your pain.
I know you're paying too.
All I can
Yeah.
think about is Wheezy from Toy Story now.
It's perfect.
I mean,
You-
only other new thing is I'm moving within a month, so
That's
How-
round of applause.
that must be hard considering what's going on around the world right now.
It's gonna be really hard trying to get a job, but I'm lucky that I have a cousin up where I'm living at who Luna left.
Luna Luft.
Oh,
Luna.
oh, there she
oh,
is.
There
she's
she
back.
is.
She picked the weight back up. Good job.
My phone it froze and it said that nobody was talking and then it said it kicked me out of the call, so my phone is shit.
No,
I'm
you don't
back
have to
up.
lie to us. You don't like us anymore. We get it.
I mean, we got a house fairly quickly, and it'll be done. Yeah, like I said, about a month. So I'll be moving back. I'm moving up there. I'll probably won't have internet for a few weeks because
As long as
don't
it
have
ain't
internet
months.
immediately. It shouldn't be months. Oh, God, I hope not. But I'm just lucky that I have a cousin up there, like I was saying, who can't remember exactly what it is, but she'll be able to help me find the job real easily. And then I'm also talking with my stepdad's brother who works at a glass making factory. I believe that's what it is.
Mhm.
That they could help me get a job there,
Glass. Oh.
which will pay well, and and they're even going to be able to pay for schooling as well, which I would like to try and do it this fall, if not this spring, if at all, with this whole thing going on right now.
Glass.
I mean, that's all I really got about to say right now.
All right. Well, then I'm gonna take it back to Luna. Get over here,
Luna
dragon.
just messaged me a very important message.
You want to share it with the class?
Nah, I don't feel like it.
um so how this has like affected me. So I was out of work.
Diplodocus.
Yes. So I was out of work actually for 2 months because I got really sick and my symptoms actually were similar to COVID. I had like really bad body aches that I could not get rid of. And I take naproxen for my hip. And I took the highest dosage that I could possibly take, which is 550 milligrams. That did not touch the body aches. I tried Theraflu, thinking, oh, I have the flu. It didn't touch the body aches at all. And I had a fever. Wait, are you guys talking? Okay.
No, we're listening.
I saw the circles going up, and I'm like, oh my god, did my thing fuck up again?
No, you're good.
But I was like really in really bad shape. I started wheezing really bad, and I thought, okay, it's allergies. But I wasn't having the watery eyes, and I could not shake the body aches. And I told Blobby about this. I remember I had texted Blobby, I think, throughout
Didn't you
almost the whole
faint
thing.
in the shower too at one point?
Yeah, I fainted in the shower too. Like I literally was so close to hitting my head. My shower is weird, so it kind of like lifts up a bit, and I was so close to hitting my head on the edge of that. But my head it hit my arm instead, and I woke up out of it, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck? And I called my mom, and I'm like, Mom, I fainted in the shower, and she came and she checked me over, and we called the doctor, and the doctor's like, okay, first off, do you have a fever, and all that, and she basically said, don't take hot showers if you got a fever. Like, the fuck is wrong with you? But I got tested for COVID, and let me tell you, that test hurts like hell. Like, oh my god, you have no idea.
I
The
shoved Q-tips
burning.
up my nose.
Celebrate good times.
Come on.
But that scared me like really bad. But then the next day they said I had a really bad flu. But I honestly feel like if I did have it, it probably was the weaker strand because, like I said, I took everything to treat the symptoms for flu, and it didn't touch it. And also, too, I've never been like wheezy when I've had the flu, so it was really weird.
I wouldn't say that was probably one of the weaker strands. I would say that was a strong strand, but you were just able to fight it off.
Shit, lucky me.
I know a lot of doctors at the time, look at me talking like an expert, said that if you had a lot of symptoms that mirrored COVID symptoms to just assume that you had it.
Oh,
Something like
well,
that.
not. Well, my bitch ass somehow survived. I don't know how I'm here, but hey.
Oh,
but
one of my friends, their grandfather, who's diabetic and is like 80-something years old, also survived it, and he got pneumonia
Holy
from it
shit.
too. So I mean,
Mm.
again,
Anything's possible.
I don't normally like saying this when it comes to like illness or anything like that, but statistically, most people, of course, are going to survive it. I mean, but again, that is basing off of like percentage wise.
Yeah.
And larger numbers mean larger numbers for everything. So, I mean, it may be still be a lot, but again, the majority is a majority. Whatever. Regardless.
No, it's fine. But
Hi, I'm hosting this podcast now.
No.
You're the babe of the podcast.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm the
Sexy.
poster. I'm the I'm
But
the
anyway.
I'm the pinup for the podcast.
Ethan from
So-
All right. Well,
So,
Luna, you
what-
almost.
Well, I mean, I had more in regards to my
Well, then
Vati,
go
how
ahead.
like it affected him. So obviously Florida is fucked right now. Like, don't go
It's
down to
not.
Florida. It's a cesspool. Like,
I hear they have
stop.
lava pools over there. And,
Is he doing better, by the way?
I honestly, according to my grandmother, he posted a video of him on 4th of July watching fireworks. Like, they were inside the house watching the fireworks. And she said that they looked fine. And she said that my Vati, which to the people watching the podcast, that's what I call my biological father. It means papa, or Vater means father in German. And so,
Darth Vader. Sorry.
but he's, according to my grandmother, he looked good. But when I was on the phone with him, he was wheezing. For the people who want, who watch the podcast, my biological father. First off, I live up here in New York State. He lives down in Florida. And basically, his life sucks for him. He has cancer. He has ALS. He has Guillain-Barré syndrome, and he has Parkinson's, which he was recently diagnosed with. And I'm like, oh Lord, what is wrong with you? And now I'm looking at myself saying, shit, I got bad genetics. He also, him and my stepmother were recently diagnosed with COVID, which obviously he has all of this shit against him, and he's on an oxygen machine and everything, and he's skinnier than me, which is saying something. So when I heard that he was tested positive for COVID, I broke down. I literally, for a whole day, I didn't want to talk to anybody. I pretended everything was okay. I kept a smile on my face because I'm like, okay, maybe if I think about happy things, it'll keep, my mind out of it. But then, people would ask me, oh, how, my family would be like, oh my God, I heard the news and everything, hopefully he lives. And I'm like, gee, thanks. Gee, thanks.
Sorry, it's just like, yo, oh, geez, thanks, man.
Gee, thanks. But the fact that
reaction I would have definitely. I hope he lives. Yeah, okay.
Okay, cool, man. Puggies in chat.
Stop saying fucking poggers in chat, you little
I'm
fuck.
gonna kick your ass. but the fact that like I said, I lost a family member to COVID, and it was my second cousin, and that was his first cousin, and he told me about it. He's like, oh yeah, in California, she was one of the deaths, and I'm like, well, what was wrong with her? And he said nothing, and I'm like, you're kidding. He's like, nope, nothing, and I'm like, oh, please don't tell me this. And I think she was like almost 50, which obviously age is going to play a part, but she was almost 50, and she was like active as hell apparently, and she just suddenly got the symptoms. And he said by the third day, she claimed that she was feeling better, preppy and all that. And then the next, she was in the hospital and they had a ventilator. They had to put her into a coma, because that's what they have to do when you're put on the ventilator. And people don't understand that. People think, oh, it's just an oxygen mask. No, they have to put you in a coma.
Tube.
Yeah, it's a tube. It's a tube that goes in your lungs. They have to put you in a coma. It's not comfortable. I've seen it, and it looks painful, and but so this whole COVID stuff, it's affecting me. But the only thing not the only thing, the things that are keeping me going is obviously my job. I work at an animal hospital, so I love it. Um, and also the fact that I'm very spiritual and all that. I read a book where supposedly, I don't know how true this is. Supposedly a psychic, she had supposedly predicted that a virus like this was going to come around this year, and she said it's going to vanish. Everybody's going to forget about it, and it's just going to disappear. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm waiting for that day. Can it come by tomorrow? Like, hello, you know. So that kind of gives me hope. But I mean, I'm I'm surviving. I mean, that counts for something, right?
Yeah. Um. Well, then I guess I can talk about mine.
No, fuck you.
Okay, cool. All right, next subject.
No,
um. th- th-
Who
well,
was the one that just did a air horn sound?
I think that was me breathing or laughing.
No, I just heard, and then that was it.
Oh no, that was probably me just laughing. Um. Oh boy. For starters, uh, I this whole COVID thing has really fucked me over. Um, I'm a graduate of 2020. But yeah,
Ladies and gentlemen,
He's officially legal.
yay. Um,
I'm sorry, what?
um, there's that. I graduated. It was on the 25th of April. April, wait, not April, wait. Yeah, wait.
some point.
it went between January and now. He graduated.
Yeah.
That's all you people need to know.
Everybody was coughing, but at least I got my diploma.
At least everyone was dying, but at least I got that piece of paper.
I'm just envisioning a World War One trench fight.
Yes, look at me. I have learned general studies. Now, time to go 4 more years to learn 2 general studies.
Oh my god.
Alas.
Sorry.
So when the whole COVID-19 thing started, I was trying to get a job at my
For
local.
fuck's sake.
What is she texting you?
She just sent me a picture of a diplodocus.
Okay.
No, I didn't. Ignore.
I was trying to get a job at my local Boys and Girls Club. I did pretty good with the interview, but literally not even a day we got put into lockdown, and so I never got a call back, which is really depressing because I always wanted to work at a Boys and Girls Club. Which is funny because my good friend and co-host Noble used to work at a Boys and Girls Club.
I did. It was fun.
It was, yeah. Being with kids, the young kids are okay. Teenage kids, they go fuck themselves. Anyway.
Gremlins.
So when you say that, that's how you don't get a job at the Boys and Girls Club.
Well, I didn't say that. Anyway,
Something sounds pretty sus here.
When that happened, I kind of fell into like, what the fuck do I do? And
Just died.
my family, especially my dad, he's been protecting us by making sure everything is washed, even our food, our shoes, our our shoes. I kid you not. When we go out, we have to clean our shoes and everything on our body, even our clothes with a rag.
Yes.
But I mean, I'm kind of grateful because none of us have it, and we've been real secure about it. The only problem is that I can't really leave the house because of this. So me going out to see my friends that are Jen or Joseph, or I can't do it. But besides that, the only thing that's been keeping me going is live streaming and videos that I'm working on. along with that, which will bring us into our next topic.
Which
Yay.
segues us perfectly into our next topic.
I just said that, you dick cheese.
Well, my head's fuck you.
I was about to say, like, what a beautiful transition, and Noble's like, yo, no, fuck you. Anyway, this brings us to a next topic, which is just projects that we are all working on, our videos. So I'm gonna go first. Yep. Damn it, Irfton.
Tell the class your name.
I'm Anthony Vasquez. Hello, I'm gamer.
Now you can never work at that Boys and Girls Club. I'm happy to
Wait, did you guys hear two bleeps too at the same time? Just back.
Whoa, man. No.
Okay, all right.
I might.
Hey, yo, guys, you hear that? It's Vietnam and the Morse code is going off.
Lord,
It's Vietnam.
it's Vietnam hours
SOS.
right now. They're in the trees. Holy shit. Oh no. I mean, the projects that I'm working on, I'm gonna start editing some of the Minecraft horror maps that me and these guys have been a part of.
Oh my god.
The 3 Hispanics.
The 3 Hispanics, which yeah, that's gonna come out soon. I'm actually gonna start.
Spanish Inquisition.
I expect you three to be speaking Spanish to each other in that video, or else I am going to give it a thumbs down.
The only ones like really speaking Spanish were me and Jen, and I was just throwing insults at Legion the whole time.
Yeah, that was basically.
I was
Yeah.
calling him a
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean-
Cut off.
I was calling him a book.
Okay, all right. Which from there I'm gonna start doing editing streams on Mondays. I think. Well, by the time this gets uploaded, it'll be Monday. So there's that going on with me. I did get a new streaming schedule. I put it out on my Instagram. Link in the description. Yeah, I'm plugging myself. Fuck off. There's that, and I guess there's the anime, which we'll give you updates on, but I want to go around with everyone else to see what they're working on or have plans to do to for YouTube or even streaming for that matter. So who wants the torch?
I'll go next.
Okay, all right,
A
cool.
while back, me and Blobby started this thing that died off very quickly, which was going to be we suggest ideas for videos. We make them.
Oh shit, that's right.
I am going to plug that publicly, and we are going to start doing that again. We are going to give each other ideas for videos, and we are going to start uploading them on our own separate channels.
I was not told he was going to say this.
I was not.
I'm
told.
forcing Blobby into this because I know it's the only way both of us will release content on a similar time frame.
I
So,
would like to state that I did not give consent.
Too
now,
bad.
forcing him to give me consent, this is now verbal rape to the videos.
Oh my god!
Shit, okay.
Hey, shut up! We're making videos and we're making content, all right? So,
Okay.
I would like to say that is going to start happening. And Legion, me and Legion made a deal with the devil recently where he volunteered a while back to make me a channel. What is it called? A channel logo.
Channel banner and channel art. Yeah. Why?
I don't need channel. Anyways,
Remind me later to fix
He,
yours.
not only is he promising you that, but he's done that for me and
I've
Rifton.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I made a condition with him where he asked me for what I would want, and I was like, I don't fucking know. But I eventually gave like.
Anybody gonna tell him?
And,
So we'll look at my icon right now.
yeah.
Upton asked for a wolf. Blobby asked for
We
the Assassin's
made it.
Creed logo on his thing.
We all made a deal with the devil.
Yeah.
Wait, so let me ask this question. So Blobby
for
asked
me.
for a picture of Wally with sunglasses. Anyways, my point is, when I do get my channel logo, I gave Legion the go ahead to ask for any video he wanted me to make, and I would make it. So that is my deal with the devil that I'm currently under contract with Legion
All
with.
right.
So those two things are all I have to speak on. So I'll
When-
go ahead and pass the torch to. You know what? I'm just gonna beam the fucking ball at Blobby. Blobby, catch.
Holy shit!
Oh my eye! Oh my eye! Oh my eye!
Are you okay?
Damn it, Noble!
Dude, I just beamed that shit from Virginia to Connecticut.
God.
Holy shit!
All right. How? So, well, I have this now, and Jesus, ow. Okay. Did that bit work by the?
Did that bit work, by the way?
it
Did we all
did.
laugh?
Yeah.
All right. I mean, I was not thinking about that thing that Noble just mentioned, but I guess now since he's mentioned it, I have to deal with it, which is absolutely not what I was hoping.
Horrendous.
I mean, what? Well, I will say there's been quite some time since I've uploaded anything on my actual channel. I took down an update video at one point because I said something on there, giving myself a schedule, and then I didn't keep up with it, and I felt bad about that, so I felt as though that I shouldn't have kept that up there.
Very racially provocative.
I gave a promised date when I would come back with a video, and I did not follow suit with that, so therefore I felt that I should not keep that video up, stating that I was going to do something. But I was in a very bad spot again last year, so my creativity was all the way down. But
Are you playing something?
no.
Yeah. No, he's not.
When
That's all.
all right, I stopped. Okay, so my creativity was down a lot last year, and I felt kind of lost and stuck in what I wanted to do. And YouTube wasn't appealing for quite some time because I just wasn't seeing anything that was inspiring, to say the least. Like, nothing was really catching my eye, so I just didn't feel right. I found a few YouTubers that I started liking, and they started to give me some ideas.
Branson.
Involuntarily, of course. I was watching, and then I started getting inspired, basically. So I needed to do something that got me a kick in the pants to start doing something again. Just the other day, I uploaded a video on another channel that I own called the AC Amino channel, because I'm one of the leaders on the Assassin's Creed Amino. We're not going to talk about that. And so, link not in the description.
Fuck off.
So that kind of made me have that switch of like, okay, this is a familiar thing again. So at some point, some barrier is going to be vaulted, and I have some ideas. I'm wanting to do. If I say video essay, will you? I hope people understand what I mean by that. Of various like gaming topics, but with a comedic flair to it, of course. I don't know if I still want to do the funny moments videos, because that's a little like too cliche, too much with that.
That's 2012, 2015.
Yeah.
Funny moments.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna do that. And I don't know. I don't know. I mean, that's one thing I mainly want to do, but I mean, I know there are some ideas that I can try out, but the thing is that there's also, I don't know. I need like help with coming up ideas, to say the least. Like help with like working through what my brain is trying to jumble together while I'm sitting here flicking my fingers and trying to be like, I want to do YouTube, and I don't do anything. So mainly the video essay thing I might want to start doing, but
Okay.
there's other, I don't know.
Okay.
Earthed and catch.
Okay.
I hate it.
things I'm planning. Well, right now I'm like I said earlier, I'm working 40 hours a week at least, so I don't have much time to do certain things. But whenever I do end up moving, I want to learn how to use my editing software, and I plan on doing all sorts of games on the PlayStation and PC. PC would probably mainly be right now Minecraft, Gmod. I want to do Undertale. I want to do an Undertale playthrough because I haven't seen much of that. And I'd like to do I'd like to do a VR chat video also that I tried doing with Noble and Blobby a few months back, that got lost to the sands of time. Also, some zombies. It's really big still right now. Then for PlayStation, I'd like to stream some horror games again. Like I want to continue Alien Isolation, and I want to do Slender the Arrival, which I watched you play, Legion, pussy bitch.
Fuck off. Fuck off. I kid you not, that fucking pig girl got me, alright? I
I
couldn't
made
get
it
over
worse. I made it worse for him.
Oh, yeah, fighting in Luna to help calm me down didn't fucking exactly help.
I scared the shit out of him. I came back. I'm like, hang on, I'll be right back. And he gets to a scary part, and I unmute myself and I go, ah! And he goes, ah! Fucking funny. It made my night.
Thanks. I like how my torture makes your guys' night.
God, I miss working at the haunted house.
I bet you do.
Another thing,
Continue.
yeah, another thing would be that Left 4 Dead video that Legion wanted to do.
Yes.
That'll be fun. I got a bunch of
Oh, shit.
mods for you.
Mm-hmm.
Hoping that'll work out well. Let's see. Yeah, talked about what I want to do for streaming, what I want to do for recording. I mean, other things would probably just be like, well, funny moments are still like a big thing. They're just not called funny moments. They're just
They're
random.
worded differently.
They're worded
If-
differently.
If I were
like-
to give, I'm sorry to interrupt, but if I were to
Right.
give you a like an example of how they're titled now, it'd be like the games.
I would import my kid to, or something like that.
Yeah, it'd be like, okay, for example, Call of Duty Modern Warfare moments that, or moments that make me wheeze or something, like that.
getting really racist in Modern Warfare. Yeah, that's
Really racist.
Oh no.
Or for example, how I named the ketamine video for when we played Heist.
yeah.
Right? No. I understand. No, I understand. I was like more so like I didn't think that would be a substantial thing to do. At least
Oh.
it's not something that I wanted to do. I didn't.
Yeah,
feel like
I feel
that's
you
what
there.
I wanted. Don't feel
I mean,
me.
I'm a
I mean,
feel
that's-
you there
Don't-
all over the place, motherfucker.
That's what like Fitz, Smitty, and all of them are still doing. I mean, that's what their basis of the channel is.
Yeah, clickbait titling is still a thing.
Clickbaits, they'll always be a thing. They'll never go
Clickbait
away.
you.
And then another thing I want to start doing is Cards Against Humanity with y'all.
Yes. Please, yes.
Okay.
That'll be
Alright.
scuffed.
I absolutely suck at that game.
Yeah, well, I suck too, and it doesn't help that I can't fucking
I
speak. So
Have such a dirty, fucked up mind.
We know.
I love Cards Against
boy.
Humanity.
Yep.
I
Oh
love it.
boy.
I
We
always
know.
win.
Who hasn't gone yet?
Luna?
All right, I'll pass it to you, Luna.
Luna,
Oh,
Oh,
I don't even have to put my
Luna
own sound
does
effects.
animal stuff.
So I mean, in regards to like YouTube channel or like for videos at least, I know that I posted that video today. I'm doing a 3-part video about crunch quietly. I'm doing a 3-part video on the animals that I have, and
I'm gonna do
you know,
like
a little bit facts about the species as well, so that people can be informed. I'm not just like showing them off. I'm also like trying to inform people too, in case they do want the species of animal that they see. Because I get like a lot of people telling me, like I'll send pictures of, example, my chinchilla to people, and they'll be like, "Oh, I've always wanted one," and I'm like, "Let me tell you how much of an asshole he is to me now. Now he's 6 years old, and I've had him since he was 9 weeks old, and He's 6 and he's a shithead. So I kind of want to like make it educational as well as like fun and
Emotionally abuse your
obviously.
animals.
Listen, my chinchilla humped my arm. I don't want to hear it. He humped my arm.
think it's
Live
emotional
moments
abuse.
that make you want to abuse your animals emotionally.
Oh my god.
Hey, yo, clickbait.
So I mean that's what I want to do. I also wanted to obviously I want to wait for the whole COVID thing to stop before I do it. I wanted to go to Massachusetts. I wanted to go to Salem, Massachusetts, do a video on that. I also wanted to go to the place that inspired Outlast, which it literally is like 5 hours away from where I live, and the front of it is a hotel, the back of it is an asylum. I'm gonna try to get in contact with the owners and see if they can at least like let me into certain parts of the asylum. I highly doubt it, but you know, hey, at least I'm staying there in the hotel.
Buy a
But in
camera.
regards, I already have a camera. My mom even offered the
Bet.
camera, her camera. She's like, "Here you go," and I'm like, "Thanks, mom," and she's like, "You're welcome."
Here's your plan.
Are you
Go to
winning,
the hotel.
daughter?
Man, that sounds like a very interesting conversation you have between you and your mom. Here's
Well,
your camera,
I
daughter.
wanna go
Thank
get
you.
murdered
You're
by some
welcome.
fucking ghost.
No, but I mean, like, I'm sorry. I just.
I know where you're going with that. Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no. Also, in regards to like non-YouTube projects, obviously I'm working on my fanfic, which Legion and Irfton obviously are. They know everybody.
I'm a co-writer.
Stop!
I'm a
Yeah,
co-writer.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm working on that, the Broken Cycle, and then I plan on actually working on 2 standalone stories. That they were based off of dreams that I've had years ago. One of them I don't have a name for yet, but it's basically certain people were born with wings and kind of like peacock tails. And like I said, my dreams are weird. I didn't understand it, but the people that had wings and like peacock tails and all that shit, they were
Rich.
oh, they weren't rich. They basically were like treated like shit because of their wings, and their tails. And the dream basically like it went from like going to like normal and going to dark really quick.
Apocalyptic.
But I wanna.
Fuck me. Okay, I wanna shut up. Now.
Huh?
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
So that's what I want to work on. I also want to work on a story that I also, like I said, had a dream about where it takes place in the future and basically mythical. In the dream, like I said, my dreams are fucked up. Mythical creatures and all that, like they all came back, and the elves, they thought like they were better than everybody, and they wanted to basically rule the world. And I ended up forming the Dragon Riders to basically not only stop
Dreams
them.
are you having?
I don't know. I like my dreams though. I basically formed the Dragon Riders, and we try to like keep the peace around the Earth, and we
Jedi,
discovered
wow.
like we like discovered like a new island, and I named it Suela or some
What are
shit.
we talking
And
about right now? I'm sorry.
my
What's going on?
my
This
non-YouTube
sounds
projects.
like somebody dropped acid and then was like, "I'm gonna watch a fuck ton of Family Guy."
I had to take off my headset, go across my room to pick up something real quick, and I come back and I hear me and the Dragon Riders. We form a town hall, and I'm just like, "What the fuck is happening?"
What the fuck is
No,
that?
I mean, like I said, I love writing. Writing is like it's one of my
Oh, you're
you know
writing.
yeah, it's one of my like things that I want to get into more. You know, because everything that I feel like everything else that I try to do fails, and it doesn't go anywhere. So I mean, that's like hopefully that gets somewhere. But yeah, that's in regards to
Me and Luna will be
projects.
finishing her story about the broken cycle.
What the fuck's going
Even
on?
if I
I hear
have to
Earthton
force
laughing.
her
What is he laughing about?
Because he sent me fucking James Bond. An image.
Oh boy! All
I
right.
may not show it, but shouting like a melody in my.
Now for my favorite part of the podcast. All right. Gift of Life, the anime I am writing and directing.
Oh,
Uh,
boy.
Wait.
Fuck off.
Or have it do it.
Huh?
Damn, I don't have the drum roll.
Oh well. Okay.
I don't
Well,
have
I'll do this. There you go.
Wow.
Jesus. Alright. Ta-da! Alright. Okay. So, an update is long overdue. I did update people on my Instagram of what's going on. We are going to try to push for filming this week. Well, by the time this gets uploaded, it'll be Monday the 13th. Am I saying that right? Oh wait, no. My bad. It's gonna be the 12th. Um, so hopefully we can try to get filming in, but basically we are 85% done. We need 2 more scenes. One of them's gonna be improvised, which is gonna be great because Blobby's gonna be leading that scene as
Oh God.
as Jackson.
Improvisation.
From Lightning McQueen.
I fucked your mom, shit lips.
God, I love Cars 3. The quotes are just the best.
car quotes that didn't make
Your
it to the
mom,
movie.
shit lips.
Lightning McQueen 2020. I fucked your mom, shit.
was
Oh
Jackson.
my. So with that, I gotta rework the anime opening because they got blocked in countries again. Fuck you,
Yay.
Japan. No, just kidding. We love it.
Say that, they created the anime.
It
Literally,
it is blocked in Japan. I
We
don't
love
know.
you, Japan.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Anyway,
I went to Japan once. I want to go back.
Legion
I'll go
loves
back.
things until it inconveniences him. Then he doesn't love it for about 3 days, and then he starts loving it again, and then it inconveniences him again, and then he hates it again.
yeah,
And
Call
it's
of
a
Duty.
vicious cycle.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to rework the anime opening, or even most likely possible is that I'm gonna have to do a whole new song, which is gonna suck. But if I have to, I have to. Besides that, I am writing the second script for the second episode. That made no sense in my mind, but I said it anyway. So fuck me.
No.
No.
Oh, God damn it. Okay. Speaking of that, which is the first act's done.
Who the f- shouldn't be.
Yeah, yeah, Arvin? I don't want to know. Besides that, I want to let you guys know that this project is going to fucking happen, even if I have to cut my 2 toes and eat them.
Why did you do
God, that's
I
a
don't
shit
agree with them.
example.
I'll do it on live stream.
No.
I'll get banned midstream, but fuck it.
Mm.
I'm gonna live week.
And also,
Aw.
I want to put this out, is that the first season of The Gift of Life will go on my channel, and then we'll get published on our group channel, Limit Break.
Limit break.
Limit Break is gonna take off. I promise you. I
In the
promise you.
description.
It just right now we're working on a bunch of stuff, and hopefully we can start grinding out them videos. Besides that, we are good. So if anyone wants to give their 2 thoughts on the anime,
So I'll go ahead and throw my opinion
Mhm.
on it.
I love how we are talking like this is a debate.
I-
I'll throw my opinion on it here. real quick.
Yeah, so my opinion is that we
I'll
need
throw
to
my 2
the
cents.
topic of the part of the podcast that I get to host.
Yeah, for a co-host, you've been awfully quiet, Noble.
yeah.
Yeah, I've been louder than you. I'm the cooch host.
Because I'm loud, and when I get loud, I offend people.
What's a coach?
No, you don't offend
That-
people. You
that
hurt
is a
people. My
quote.
ears hurt.
That is a quote of the century.
What is a cooch host? I need to know.
Yeah.
Oh
what is it?
no.
That's it. I'm going back. I'm going back to full volume. Fuck you.
You know who Kate Upton is?
Oh no.
Cooch
I wanna
host.
go.
Okay.
I wanna go home.
So, anybody have any opinions on
Jesus
the...
fucking Christ.
What?
You're gonna drown out the rest of our voices.
My
I swear, I
cock
just
hurts.
lowered the fucking audio.
Nobody heard me good.
All right, continue, co-host Noble.
Yes. So, filming is proceeding. And the editing, which is done by MC Legion, will continue.
MC Legion, what the?
Yeah, fuck you. I'm calling you Master Chief. Fuck you. All right. Anyways,
Oh, okay.
so the other day I was up late. I was like, I got Scooby Doo on disc thanks to a good
Where
friend.
the
The
fuck is this going already?
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna talk about the anime. So Scooby Doo.
yeah, so I realized after watching
I gotta-
Scooby Doo that there's a lot of good cartoons out there, which is
Wait, no, we're not
We're
not
still
going
on
on
the
that.
anime, you
Okay,
fuck.
you're offering to continue on the topic we're at hand, and then you're deciding to switch it to the next topic.
on it. So I'm moving on.
This is
No,
stuff.
we're not done with this topic.
We're not
Oh,
done. Just
my
not
bad.
yet.
Jesus, Legion, fire him, Legion.
I can't. I'm using him for
I'm
tax
so
purposes.
excited for this.
I'm using him as a write-off.
podcast. And then
Will?
nobody's like, so cartoons.
I will.
Hello. Yes. Hi. Hello. You
I
there?
swear to God, if
No,
somebody
she's
here
saying
calls
ooh woo.
Oh,
cartoon-
okay.
I will.
Okay. Get out.
Anybody
Of
here calls anime a cartoon? I'm banishing them to the
All right.
show.
Well, again, Noble. How about you? So, what about Legion's project? Do you want to talk about?
I'm in it.
I,
All right. Cool. All right. Next person. Does anybody else have any comment on this?
I mean,
I'm playing 3 people.
yeah. Yeah. Speaking of that, if anyone.
Yeah, I am gonna have to remove your lines. Or...
No. We need more
I-
body actors.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Definitely,
body
because
actors.
holy shit, I cannot use villagers no more. I'm sorry, but I can't use them Squidward looking asses. All right.
If there's anything I can say about this podcast, you can definitely tell it's not fucking scripted. It's so far from scripted. It's just like, yeah, the anime.
So if you are interested, please, I beg you, please. I'll get on my knees and beg, please. We need body actors.
No.
We need
Oh,
body
but-
actors. If you are interested, please contact me on Lobby Join the
My
Party on
neck hurts.
PlayStation. Okay.
I'm totally just playing Dylan. That's the good guy, right? That's
Yeah.
the friend. And then Cyrus, the big bad boy.
the big bad boy.
I will.
Oh, fucking shit.
Which I
but-
finally got his voice down.
Oh boy.
Or-
If you are interested, please come to the Discord and either private message me or please or follow my Instagram and hopefully we can get you in as a buddy actor. Don't matter what console you are. Anyone helps at this point.
Except for Pocket Edition, because make that known, because people think, oh, Pocket Edition as well, and then people trying to join up on me, and then they get upset. So, Pocket
Oh.
Edition, no.
Okay, well,
Edition.
fuck you, fucking phone users. What are you, fucking poor? Anyway. Holy shit.
Who is on his phone right now?
Yeah, okay, finally, we are at the end of the road.
All right, Noble. This
Yeah,
is your
Noble,
topic.
take it
Now
away.
you can go in.
So guys, cartoons are really fun, and
Anyways, so the other night I was up late watching Scooby Doo. Fuck you, shut the hell up. And I realized the OG Scooby Doo is fantastic. And
Uh-huh.
so last night I stayed up late and I wrote a top 10 cartoons of all time list.
oh no,
I realized that nobody's gonna agree with me on any of these because I am like
don't know
Fair,
that.
valid point.
But I realized that there's so many fucking categories of show from like, there's like Cow and Chicken, which is like the weirdest TV show like ever
I
made.
fucking loved Cow and Chicken.
Fuck you. And then they had like superhero shows, which like Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Now,
That, wait, that was a super. That's classified as a. Yeah, hold on.
Superhero shows like The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
remember that one episode where he's a hero? Yeah. So.
What about Ben 10?
Anyways,
I thought you said Vin
no,
Diesel for a
I
minute.
came up with a noble top 10 of all times cartoon list.
Please tell me you put Codename Kids Next Door on there. I swear to fuck.
Well,
Yes, it is on there.
maybe. But I mean, like, give him a chance to speak the rest of it.
Yeah. So, should I just go from 10 to 1?
No.
Yeah.
Okay. So at number 10, I had Superhero Static Shock.
Huh?
Never heard of
Oh, I vaguely remember that, just vaguely.
All right. Well, so that's upsetting.
it. I am younger than you.
No, I know about it. No, but don't worry.
Yeah. At number 9, I had Chowder.
That is such a good show.
They broke the fourth wall a lot. I loved it.
And at number 8, I had like I got really conflicted because I didn't know where to put this because it was either going to be like it's one of those shows that's like it's either number 1, it's number 10, and it feels insulting to put it anywhere else. But Ben 10, I had at number 8.
Which Ben 10? Which
The
one?
original, the OG.
Just the original
OG.
show?
Yeah, the original show.
I mean,
I like
it's at
the
a top
original.
10, so I'm happy.
Yeah. And then right on top of it, at number 7, I had a bit of a weird process. It's honestly the most grotesque cartoon, but it's also
Oh
like
no.
I put the whatever it was, Flapjack.
Oh my god. That show ruined
gonna-
me as a
It's gonna take
kid.
a whole lot more to impress me.
I loved the whale. I can't remember her name, but her sass was
Bubby.
just
It was
unmatched.
Bubby or something.
Yes, I loved her.
I remember too much about that show.
Scarred me.
Then at number 6, I had Kids Next Door.
Yes.
Alright. Did you know that there was supposed to be a sequel series to it?
Yeah, and then they canceled it.
Yeah.
At number 5, it starts getting more personal for me because of what I grew up with, so I feel bad. But for number 5, I put a tie for me because they're completely different series. But I put Samurai Jack and I put it as a tie with Total Drama Island.
Yes.
Okay. I've barely seen Samurai Jack just because I was younger whenever it came out, so I never really got to see it.
Yeah, at number 4, the top 5 is like always personal for everybody. Like it doesn't matter. There is no top. Like nobody will have the same top 5 because the top 10 can look similar, but the top 5 can never because the top 5 shows are always going to be based off your personality and preference. But at number what am I at 4? Number 4, I had Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I tied that with the original Batman the animated series because the OG Batman series is just like if that was your first like cartoon show, like, your first superhero show, you were like, holy
What do you mean
shit.
by like OG one?
Like the one oh god, I told you
whatever?
the
the
one with Mark Hamill's Joker.
That's probably, I think it's like more early 2000s.
It aired in like 1999 to 2004, I think.
Yeah.
So it was like early Cartoon Network watchers would have caught that if you were born in like the late 90s.
Yeah.
And then the rest of mine is just a mishmash of my favorites. Which at number 3, I had one of my personal like top of all time regular show.
Yo.
And for me, I watched a shit ton of regular show, and I had to throw it's got to be top 10. So I just threw it in there with regular show. I said regular show and SpongeBob.
Yup.
At number 2, I went with Teen Titans, the original series.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
God, that show was god tier. And
It
then
was.
God
at
damn
number
it,
1,
Matt.
I have my personal favorite of all time, which people will. I've had like near fights over this. Courage the Cowardly Dog is my personal favorite.
I loved that show. I miss it. I miss it so much.
And then I had quite a few honorable mentions. Obviously there's a shit ton. They had God. There's so many. I wrote like a list of like 20, but I'll just go with like 5, I guess. Because it was on Cartoon Network and it is an anime, you gotta say Dragon Ball Z. And I know that's an anime and not a cartoon, but like it was on Cartoon Network at a certain point in time, and it was fantastic. Also, personally, you gotta put Hot Wheels Battle Force 5 on there.
Alright, shut the fuck up.
Nobody likes Hot Wheels Battle Force 5. But obviously, one of my favorite cartoons that I didn't even want to put on this list just because I know it's near and dear to my heart. There's like 40 fucking Scooby-Doo series that are on Cartoon Network at some time.
Yeah.
And like most of them were on there. But the rest of it for me is just like nostalgia. Like there was one show, I can never remember the name of it. But it was like every cartoon show, and they just had them like do some race like every episode or something like that. And it was like incredible for me. Like you just be like, oh my god, look, it's Scooby-Doo versus Cat and Caveman, and the gangs are like fighting each other, like, well, not fighting, they like race each other. It was like Dick Dastardly and shit. I don't know. It was always incredible for me.
Okay.
And then honorary mentions, the only live action cartoon I'll put on here because I watched it for like, I was the only one that watched all of it on Cartoon Network. Fucking Level Up, the live action TV series, is for some reason an honorable mention.
Okay.
But then I will throw my real honorary mentions. If anybody says Uncle Grandpa, they deserve to die. Generator Rex for me, I think deserved more love. And then Star Wars: The Clone Wars, the OG and the new one, the animated series.
Okay, all right.
But and then you can't forget Ed, Edd and Eddy. But
yeah,
not everybody likes that show, which I found out recently.
Okay, well,
for me, that's like my top 10 with honorable mentions. You know,
okay.
I'm gonna have to go. Some people say Johnny Bravo and Dexter's Lab, but for me, that's my opinion, and I'll throw up there. And if you would like to join our debate, which I will start a debate, feel free to join the Discord and throw some cartoons I missed or in the comments, and I will read through them and have an argument with you in the comments section.
I'm gonna have to go soon. My mom texted me. She's like, "We're gonna be up early," and I'm like, "Okay."
Okay, but before you go, do you disagree with any of my cartoon placement?
No.
I think he's just saying that to get out.
Blobby.
What?
Do you have cartoons that I missed that you think deserve to be top 10 of all time?
I mean, you're asking me to debate with you what should be your favorite shows.
I'm just asking if there's any OG like top 10 cartoons that I might have missed.
I don't know, because I mean I have my own personal tastes that I grew up with. I mean, and then there's a lot of stuff that I don't know if you want me to state what my favorites were or anything.
Sure, go ahead.
I'm not gonna say top 10 because I don't remember 10 cartoons, but I only remember a few. Of course, like you mentioned a lot of them. Like I mean, for starters, I grew up as a Cartoon Network kid mainly, and somewhat of a Nickelodeon kid.
Mm-hmm.
But mainly it was Cartoon Network. I wasn't a Disney Channel kid.
Yeah, me neither.
I mean, with Cartoon Network, Fairly Odd Parents and SpongeBob were like my two, and I can't really remember anything else off of Nickelodeon. I don't know if I said Cartoon Network before that. I may have. I don't know. But with Cartoon Network, I mean, you've already listed a few of them. Total Drama Island and Total Drama Action. And was there like Total Drama World 2 or something like that? I can't remember.
There was, but I didn't watch that.
Total Drama Island and Action. Those two. I kept up with a lot when it came out. Me and my sister did. Like, we talked about it all the time because we absolutely loved it. I know Foster's was something I always watched. I didn't really watch that much Chowder. And I didn't really watch that much Flapjack either. But I will say that my favorite cartoon, and still is my favorite cartoon, is Ed, Edd and Eddy. I'm one of those guys that actually really likes Ed and Eddy.
Okay.
But there are other cartoons that I remember that only showed up for a short time that nobody really remembers, or cartoons that I don't know what channel they were on, but I watched them.
Right.
One of them was a Cartoon Network one. I don't know if you guys will know the name of it. I don't know if you will. I definitely know Legion won't know it, but Noble and Irfan, I don't know if you'll know this. Have you ever heard of a cartoon called Class of 3000?
God, I've heard of it, but I've never watched it.
I can't honestly remember the premise of it. I only know I watched a little bit of it. It's basically, there's this very well-known saxophone player named Sonny Bridges, who's actually voiced by Andre 3000, and he becomes this school's music teacher because the school isn't paying attention to the music program anymore. And I know a lot of it's jazz music and everything. The main character is a kid, I can't remember his name, but he's a drummer. And then there's a bunch of these other kids that play various instruments, and it's just following them and everything. But I honestly can't remember that much about that one. I think it was only on for a season. And the reason why I remember that a lot is because there's some Cartoon Network game where it was like making your own music using the characters on that, and I played the shit out of that. But there was another cartoon that I didn't necessarily watch on Cartoon Network or anywhere else. It wasn't even on Cartoon Network. There was it was on MTV. That's right, but I didn't see it on MTV. I saw it on like DVD.
Are you talking about Clone High or something like that?
No. It's a Spider-Man animated show.
Oh.
Spectacular.
Like I think it was Spectacular. I can't remember. It was in the 3D animation. It was like early 2000s on MTV, and it had what's his name?
Drake Bell?
No.
Say Dayquil?
No.
Drake Bell. That Disney XD Spider-Man show, Drake Bell voiced.
No. Again, this was on MTV.
Said
the guy, Neil Patrick Harris, voiced Spider-Man. I believe. It was like a very dark sort of Spider-Man.
Spider-Man Unlimited, or
It might be. I'm looking it up right now, but
it.
it was. I mean that's what really got me into Spider-Man itself, but it was called Spider-Man: The New Animated Series. I know that tagline is a little bit weird, but it was a much darker tone Spider-Man, and it had, I think it was only like one season, but it was really interesting. I'm trying to think what else that I could remember, because like we've already stated a lot of stuff, but I mean Cartoon Network for me was my thing, and Ed and Eddie is like my top cartoon from that. But
I will say the one thing I left off my list, and I'm not sure why, I just am not too attached to it. Adventure Time.
Yeah.
Friends go to very distant lands. Copyright. Y'all sleeping on like you remember Recess in Dexter's Lab?
Yeah.
Well, again, I wasn't like into.
I watched a lot of Dexter's Lab. I just never I don't know. I never bought into it, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Diggy.
I wanna pull it to Luna before, because she does have to go soon. So if you want to talk about your cartoons.
I mean, some of them aren't really like cartoons, you know, like, because obviously anime is not cartoons. But honestly, you know, Codename Kids Next Door was one that was dear to me. You know, I loved that show growing up. Obviously, a lot of the shows that I'm gonna name, everybody here is probably gonna be like, "Oh yeah, totally." That, you know, it's an obvious thing.
Uh-huh.
I watched American Dragon Jake Long growing up as well.
Do not know what that is. I'm sorry.
She's.
Fuck you.
I know a show that she's about to say.
Jake Wachowski.
No, I watched Dragon Tales when I was little.
Yo, Dragon Tales.
Oh wait, I just remembered something I want to ask before the podcast ends.
Yeah.
No, Luna finishes first.
Okay.
Or anybody else who wants to say stuff. I'm sorry.
Samurai Jack, technically, I kind of considered it an anime, especially when it hit Adult Swim. It became like, holy shit. Like, it became dark really quick. So Samurai Jack was another one. And then, like I said, Wolf's Rain, which was an anime. I actually got to meet the lead voice actor, the guy that voiced Kiba, and Irfton.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I got to meet him at a convention, and he was really sweet. He was awesome, and I told him, I'm like, yeah, I watched Wolfstrain. It really, it sucked that they didn't greenlight it for a second season. He's like, yeah, I know. I was so hyped to do it, and he he was awesome. He was such a sweet guy. And he's like, oh yeah, you're one of the special fans, because he pointed to me and my friend. He's like, you guys watched Wolfstrain. Not a lot of people know me from that. And I'm like, that's all I know you from, to be honest. So Wolfstrain was really good. Like I said, that's an anime though. I liked Wolf Children, which was a movie. I mean, it got me crying. A lot of it, even though the kids were obviously half wolves, a lot of it like showed real life situations that a single mother could go through, and that one was personal to me because I thought of my mom when she was raising me when I was growing up. So that one was like really personal to me. And then most recently, Beastars. I started, I watched that, and I just the animation, the way that they mixed
really
CG with 2D,
Beautiful.
yeah, it's literally so beautiful. And the fact that the animators themselves, because obviously they had to do the motion capture, it wasn't just actors. It was the animators themselves. They literally dressed up in mocap, and they would stand on the table in front of the computer where they would do the final animations, and they would do their own poses for the characters, so they can just go sit down. Oh, I messed up that pose. Let me get back up on the table and do it again. They hired theater students to act out some of the scenes as well. Beastars, like I said, it's, my God,
didn't know that.
yeah, I saw like a whole. I'll send you the link to it, Irfton. It's really amazing how they did it. But like I said, a majority of them were animes, but people can see a theme that a lot of the shows that I watched involved animals, and I think that's why I'm a furry. That's
Guys are gonna start doing a fucking
That's why
chant.
we all dislike Luna, but that's just fine.
I love you too, Noble. I love you too.
I'll just sit over here in the shadows.
Yeah, Irfton's a furry too. Why aren't you going after him?
Because he's a guy and he's not gross.
Oh my God.
Vagina.
Wait, Blobby, did you do that for me?
What?
What?
Barack Noble?
What? I'm confused.
Barack Noble?
Oh no, I just found that in the game.
Oh, I thought you
Oh
made
my
it.
God.
I was like,
So yeah, I mean, like I said, there is one more, which I know, obviously you guys are probably gonna laugh immediately, but there's a reason why I watched it.
Kai?
No, no, My Little Pony, and hang on, there's a reason why. My
That's
great grandmother,
fire, bro. Friendship? Oh my God.
my great grandmother, when she was alive, we didn't really have like any channels at her house, and she turned on the channel that I don't even remember what channel it is anymore, but she turned it on and she just started watching it, and she was squinting at it and everything. She's like, oh, come sit down with me and everything, and we kind of like we watched it together, and when we would always like watch it every time I would go over. She didn't understand what was happening, but she just liked seeing all the colors on screen moving, and she just loved it. And then when she passed away, I just kept watching it because I'm like, you know what, I kind of actually like the show, and it reminds me of her, so that's why I watch it.
No, you're not a brony. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Fucking
Earthden, do not say it.
I swear to God.
One of us.
Holy shit. Okay.
It's not
alright.
one of us, it's two of you.
I've watched this season. It's not a bad show. Yes, it is directed more towards the younger female audience.
A
But
lot of it has
it does
like
have a
mature
lot of-
stuff
It has a lot of good morals in it that
and
a lot
mature
of people
stuff
could
too.
use.
My computer's
That,
dying.
that- I mean, yes, I know it's fucking weird for me to watch it at least, but it does have
Well,
a lot of
also-
good morals, things that people
Yeah.
should know.
The last time I knew somebody was it was high school, and they were like, "Yeah, Rainbow Dash is fucking hot," and I was like, "Oh." God.
Okay, those are the ones we don't talk about. Ew. It's a cartoon horse.
I said the last time I knew a brony, it was fucking high school, and he had like those fucking like pins all on his bag, and I was like, "Why the fuck are you a brony?" And he was just like, "Rainbow Dash is fucking hot," and I was like,
That's when you throw him out.
Lord.
Anyway, I'm gonna head off, go to bed, curl
Everybody
up
say
and
goodbye,
cry.
Luna, from the podcast. Bye, Luna.
Bye.
What?
Bye, Luna.
Sniff.
God,
Bruh.
post.
Oh Jesus. Okay.
I want to ask you guys a question.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who here watched a little bit of Nickelodeon at all?
I did.
Yeah.
Not much, but a very,
Okay.
All three. I watched Cartoon Network, Disney, and Nickelodeon.
Now, has anyone else ever heard of a channel called Nick Gas?
No. What
God.
the hell?
doesn't sound good.
I haven't heard that. I used to watch JetX. Anyone know that?
I fucking remember Gen X.
Nick Gas was this channel that Nickelodeon owned, and it was more so the sort of athletic channel, the one where they had all these like fake game not athletic, excuse me. It had more of like these game shows sort of thing.
Yes.
Like they had a show where they had a bunch of Nick stars come on to the show and try and guess contestants secret talent or something like that. Something like I can make my ears move up and down or something like that. Or and if they got it wrong, they got slimed and shit. Then there was also a channel where Mark Summers, I think that's his name, the guy who hosts Unwrapped. I don't know if you know that show where he goes to the different, like he shows like different factories that make the like different like food products. But there was one show on there called Guts, and it had these three kids do a series of challenges. And then the final challenge was them climbing this big giant like fake mountain in the middle of this arena that they have.
Mm-hmm.
And these challenges were really weird. Like there was a challenge where they were strapped to a harness and they had to jump down from a raft. What is it called? Whatever. They had to jump down from a high place with a bow and arrow that has like this Velcro thing on it, and then hit a target. They have to. There's another one where they're in like a harness again, and they have to paddle themselves across this pool, but they're like above the pool, so they have to push themselves with their feet in this oar across the top of the water while there's jet streams going by at the same time. There's this obstacle course that they have to go through and everything, but this final one is always like they have to climb up this fake mountain and hit these 8 lights and then get up to the top first. And it was the most bizarre thing ever that I have ever seen, along with these other shows, but nobody has ever heard of it before. I'm like one of the only people that I know who has ever found this channel. And it weirds me out a little bit because it's
like cursed footage or something.
Yeah, and all the shows were like, it seems like, I mean, this was early 2000s that they shot this stuff and had it up, but a lot of these shows look like that they are like shot in the 1990s or something like that.
That's weird. I for one have never heard of any of that Nick Gas or that show or those shows. I will say
I got an idea. If you allow me to say.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't interrupt you. After this podcast is done,
Yeah.
what if I find some of these videos and all four of us watch it just to see what
I'm down. I'm down.
Sure, I guess.
I will say the only thing that you made me think of was the cringe phase of Cartoon Network where it started to die when they were like, we're gonna do all these shows that nobody wants to like. I for one, like I like cartoons on Cartoon Network. Once they started doing too much live stuff and they were like, we're gonna do there's a hole in the wall and I was like, all right.
Destroy, build, destroy.
I remember that show
Dude,
now.
what
It
would
Destroy,
happen?
Build, Destroy. I forgot about that shit.
Dude, what would happen? I
I
love Dude, what would happen.
hated Hole in the Wall.
Oh my god, dude, what would happen?
Dude,
The
what
only
would happen?
the only thing that I remember from
Wait,
Dude,
when
what
I'm
would
right.
happen
Was
is
they fill the car with water.
just one episode where they're like testing out like something involving pimples, and then they have like these 3 different types of garbage bags filled with like crap and slime, and one garbage bag was supposed to represent like a regular pimple, one was supposed to represent a blackhead, and then one was supposed to represent an infected pimple, and they dropped it from a certain like amount of height and it would splatter on the ground, and I had no idea why I was invested into that episode.
Guys, I just realized.
Oh god.
Dude, what would happen was one of the original like YouTube channels. If you look at YouTube now, people are doing that shit.
That is true.
That is true.
I will say the only thing that I really didn't like about okay, I didn't mind Dude What Would Happen, except that they overplayed it sometimes. They put like a 2-hour scheduling block that was nothing but Dude What Would Happen. I'd be like, okay, I want to watch this for 2 hours.
I think they were trying to do that to get more view time on that.
I agree, but I will say there's only 2 things I remember from Dude What Would Happen. One was them like covering themselves in fucking Velcro and jumping off like a trampoline onto like Velcro targets. And then I remember them being like, dude, what would happen if we took a car and made it into an aquarium? And then they just were like in a car, like with scuba shit on, and I was like, what the fuck is this? This is the worst thing I've ever seen. Just like, yeah, I'm gonna drive to work. I'm gonna go to work in a scuba suit and drive in a fucking tank.
I remember one. They attached like a catapult to a bike, and they tried to shoot
I
like a
remember that.
pizza from to a story window.
I just remember them like shooting it through a window that was like,
Oh boy.
yeah. Okay, I will say those shows were like stupid, but they were kind of funny, like in retrospect.
Destroy, Build, Destroy was great. It was interesting to watch.
Yeah.
Okay, well, any more things or?
Nice cock.
Oh boy, okay.
That's the end of the podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for tuning in. If you made it this far, make sure to leave a like, comment, and
Subscribe
please
to everyone that is that
YouTube.com/After 57.
yeah. Make sure you do that because like they're all good people. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one.
Our goal is to start.